It's December 11th, 2020, and today I turn 21. According to YouTube, right this very second, I've got 9,846. I'm not quite sure on my Instagram following because the numbers are like all over the place. Let me just check real quick. According to Instagram, I've got 5,201. I'm pretty certain that's less than I did this time last year. I'm pretty sure. It's quite difficult to answer how often that I get noticed because it is 2020. So it's a little bit challenging to say. Definitely at every single Pride event, I do get noticed. Pretty much every single T-Door event that I turn up to, I get noticed. As for generic like LGBT events, I would say pretty often. And out and about, maybe 1 out of 3 times I go outside, I get noticed by someone. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's because I'm like popular and well known. It's kind of more because I just do a lot of different things. So I'm kind of known for a few different things. When it comes to gear, I use a lot of gear, but when I think about like my main camera, I am currently using the 77D, and I've also got the Rode NTG4 Plus. For vlogging, I use the M50 with a Rode Video Micro, and I also use a Switch pod. With that being said, this morning I did get the Canon 90D. I'm just waiting for the batteries to charge up. I know I should have waited a little bit. I should have, you know, this could have been 4K. This very video could have been 4K. I'm not really one for wanting like items. I don't crave necessarily fancy stuff, really. Not too much. With that being said, there are things that I you know, I wish I could have. Like, right now, I wish that I could have the Canon C70. For the longest time, I wanted the Canon C200, but now I want the Canon C70. That just feels like it's a camera made for me. Like, I like camera gear. But with that even being said, like, the C70 is not, like, the top of the top, like, cinema camera ever. Like, it's kind of like one of the beginner cinema cameras. I don't really want fancy gear. At this point at least. But with all of that being said, when I think about more, like, realistic items, I wouldn't mind a Tesla. If someone was to give me a Tesla, I wouldn't complain. Elon Musk, if you ever watch this, you know, hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open. Advice that I would give to upcoming YouTubers is prepare to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. Over the 8 years that I've been making videos on YouTube, this is the only channel that I've really had a really strong connection to. I had a Minecraft channel many years ago, and that did a lot better than this channel, but this is a channel that is a lot more personal, and it's a lot more about me helping people, and I don't know, there's a lot more sentimental value within this channel than I had with my Minecraft channel many years ago. It's very cliche to say on YouTube, oh, you must be consistent, you must be active, you must reply to comments, and yes, that's all very important, but it isn't the main thing that's going to make your channel go from 0 subscribers to 10,000 subscribers. Finding your authentic personality and creating videos of such a high standard, that's where you're gonna start to see some real strong and successful growth. The thing that drives me the most in life is working out what my passion is and focusing all my time and energy into that thing. Right now, and for the last 5 years, YouTube has been such a strong passion for me, and there's not a day where I don't think, what am I going to make this week? What is going to be the thing that I create that's going to help improve the lives of others? Whenever I talk publicly about feeling depressed, I often go to say something about finding your purpose. And once you find your purpose, find your passion. And right now, my passion is all about helping to improve the lives of others. And there's going to be absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from trying my hardest to achieve that goal. Do you want the short answer or the long answer? Because honestly, I think it's going to surprise people when I say this. No, I am not living the life that I want to be living. Right now, what I'm doing, I don't want to be doing for the rest of my life. Don't get me wrong, I think YouTube and creating videos and social media is going to be part of my life for the long run, but what I'm currently doing and how I'm currently doing things, that's not what I want my life to be like in 10 years from now, 5 years from now. At the moment, to be able to maintain the lifestyle that I'm currently living, I've got a lot of side hustle that I don't really talk about on camera, and in the future, that side hustle isn't in my vision for where I want to be. If I'm going to be truly honest, where I want to be in the future is to be able to travel a lot more than I currently do. I don't want to be always in this little attic-y, studio-y, placey thingamabob. I'm definitely not one for settling down and finding an area to retire. That's not what I'm all about. Anyone that knows me right now would say that I'm not one to settle down and just be okay with what I'm doing. I want to meet new people and see new things and develop an understanding of things that right now my mind possibly couldn't comprehend. New places that I went to this year. Nowhere? 2020! With that being said though, before all of the craziness began this year, I went to see my brother's place. I've never seen it before, and this year I went to see it. Anticlimactic answer! My most happiest day for this year most likely would have been in late February, just before lockdown began. Long story short, there was a show with a theatre company of which I am part of, and the show went ahead. I was part of like the media related thingamabobs to do with that show, and yeah, I did some things, and that day just hanging out with like-minded people just before lockdown began, that probably was the happiest day for me this year. When I think about the different things that I've achieved this year, there are a handful of things. I mean, I literally just had one of my films premiere, my Tidal video. That premiere was amazingly successful. Honestly, it's hard to pick just one. If I had to pick just one of the many things that I've done this year, I think it would have been proposing the idea of starting a Pride event, and for that idea to turn into a group of people which are now pushing and creating a Pride event, of which is going to be in my area. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I am so fortunate that this year I've actually felt well for the first time in a very, very long time. I mean, other than like an annoying sinus infection that just will not go away, I mean, health-wise, I've been probably the best that I've been since 2017. And for that, I am so thankful and just so grateful. But if I'm gonna be totally honest about like my mental health, it hasn't been great. And I don't think it's been great for many, many people. I mean, I'm kind of this weird, like, happy, and then sad, and then happy, and then depressed, and then sad, and then happy, and, you know, that kind of sums up my, you know, well-being mentally. Yeah. The thing that brought me most excitement this year is a hard one to name. I think the thing that brought me the most excitement is finally having friends for the first time in who knows how many years. It's been a very, very long time that I've been so alone and so isolated from the wider world that it's kind of nice at long last to have friends, which, you know, I spend a lot of my time up here editing and making videos and editing, doing emails, replying to comments, and there's a lot of socialization in that bubble, but the thing that made me most excited was just having people to talk to and just say, you know, when lockdown's over, we'll meet up for a meal, you know, we'll go out and get lunch, and, you know, we're gonna hang out and we'll do this after lockdown, and I think that is what brought me the most excitement this year. Just finally fitting in. Finally finding where I stand in this tiny, tiny little world that we live in. It's just nice to be, at long last, looked at as just a human being. After so many years of being neglected and ignored. Compared to last year, I would say I'm more unstable, I'm more frightened, I'm more scared of what the future may bring. I think I struggle a lot with the instability of having social media as a career the older that I get. It's kind of ironic that when I first started this channel, I was always like, if I don't have 10k subscribers by the time that I turn 21, I might as well just give up on YouTube. I'm 21 now and I'm, you know, like 200 subscribers away. When I first started this channel, I was like, 10k is not possible by 21 years old. There's no way. Hey, look, younger me, I did it, kind of, basically, near enough. Subscribe if you haven't already. Pretty please. Recently, YouTube has added double adverts across YouTube, and well, maybe you have to watch 2 5-second adverts, or maybe one like 30-second advert and then like a 5-second advert. But what people don't realize as a content creator is that adverts are how the content creators make their income. And now that I'm making 2 times the amount of money that I was making this time last year per 1,000 views, that side hustle that isn't in my future has been able to be lessened and lessened as the year has gone on, which is allowing me to make more content and be more focused on the things that I really am passionate about. So as much as I'm scared about the future of social media stability, at the moment, I'm a little bit less anxious than I was this time last year about pursuing YouTube as a full-time career. The short answer is no. I've never really been truly happy. Of course, I have my highs when I'm talking at Pride events and playing video games with my friends and, you know, hanging out with my friends prior to lockdown, of course. But there's too many lows that are so consistently, like, just churning my mind into this bowl of mashed potato. It's not anxiety and it's not fear, it's more of this ongoing depression that just seems to be consistently consuming my mind, and I don't know, you know, it's so easy to fake a smile, and I don't think a lot of people know how I truly feel, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't always be so happy and cheery when I make my videos and talk about stuff on social media, but you know, when you take a photo, or, you know, you're always smiling and then you take the phone away from your face and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm 21 years old and I'm still trying to work out in life the coping mechanisms that will enable me to be able to live a happier and healthier lifestyle. But I'm still stuck. As of right now, I haven't found the secret to happiness, and who knows what the future may hold. This year has really been quite taxing and extremely challenging for me, and I regret not being able to vocalize how I really felt inside. Playing video games, everyone that I know is pretty much at home playing video games, and I wish I had done less of that, but I don't regret my life choices, honestly. I've definitely had many highlights from playing video games this year, and it's helped me as a distraction from what's been going on. I wish I could have also been less anxious this year. People don't realize how, like, self-conscious and how insecure I actually am. Picture a ball of anxiety, now picture it slowly getting crushed and torn to shreds. That's how I feel most of the time. This year, the questions that I get most asked on a daily basis have changed to almost be the questioning things that I've never even brought up on my channel. For example, talking about where my transition is going, to what about, like, my future and my relationships in my future. I see every single comment every single day that brings up these topics, and it's hard not to think about those. And when I really think deep about the things that I haven't shared online, there's probably only 5 things which are so deep and so personal that I just haven't ever shared or spoken about it online. Will I talk about them online in the future? Maybe, but right now's not the time. And I think it's those 5 things that have continuously been on my mind every single day this year. I don't really watch much TV. I'm kind of more of like a Netflix, Disney Plus sort of person. I don't find a lot of things on normal, traditional TV that interesting. This year I watched Friends. I was watching it a lot last year, but I watched Friends all over again. Friends is a great series. But I also ended up watching Big Bang Theory this year. It's a show that my brother absolutely loved, and I watched solely for the reason to be able to understand the storyline and to have something that me and my brother could talk about. But doing that, I honestly found a love for the show, so I think my favourite TV show this year is Big Bang Theory. The film that I would consider my most favourite this year is a film that I watched multiple times within the first week of seeing it for the first time. And I'm gonna say that film is Disney Plus's Stargirl. I don't know, there's just something about it that I highly relate to, and it's almost like a comfort movie at this point. A valuable life lesson that I learnt this year must have been learning to be present. Not just to be focused on what I'm doing right now, but to be present in all areas and all aspects of my life. It's so easy when you vlog or make videos that you're only thinking about like the cinematography or the story, but it kind of controls your life in a way that you can never imagine unless you do make videos. Earlier this year, I deleted absolutely everything on my Instagram to start a fresh, brand new feed, and I think it was in May that I got rid of everything, and then, like, right now, as of this moment, I think I've got, like, 10 posts, which, May to December, 10 posts? You know, it's all about learning to be present. A quote that sums up this year is a quote that my parents came up with must have been a decade ago. And the quote goes something like this: "The only thing that you can be certain of is that you cannot be certain of anything." I really desperately hope that my life starts to slow down, because every single year things just start to speed up and speed up. It's like this snowball effect that I literally am out of control of. I feel like I'm going to get to a point where a year doesn't even feel like a day. And that freaks me out, because right now I know it's my prime time. I know right now is the time for me to do absolutely the most amount of things that I can possibly do. This is my prime time. Back in October 2016, I dropped out of studying A-level law and, you know, computer-related stuff and A-level drama and graphic-y 3D game design and stuff like that. Film was not a career path that I was at all pursuing. And now I have lights built into the wall, fancy cameras, kind of, and a microphone that costs more amount of money than most people would spend on a weekly food shop for a family of 4 people. Making movies like I do now was nowhere near in my mind when I was 16 years old. And now, how has it been 5 years since I left education for the final time? I don't even know. Time honestly flies so fast that I think a younger me would never even be able to comprehend. And as I've already said, I'm 21 years old. And honestly, I wish my life could slow down. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.